Yeah, well, that's up to you, son. You're going to have the ruined knees. Go for it, knock yourself out.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Quality.
Yeah, but
it's time for the weekly gaming news. Love
you're
it.
Shouting too much into the microphone. So, as Mr. Kirioff said, you don't talk over me, son. That is terrible. You said you were going to do the introduction, but then you just chickened out.
I bottled it.
You bottled it. It's the same old story with the lad. So anyway, another week has passed, and as ever, we go to... You could probably hear me clicking on the mouse frantically, trying to get to the actual news of the week so we can discuss it, because my brain is like a sieve.
This is true. I can testify to this.
Cheeky bastard. So, first of all, the first thing we've got, because that is generally what we talk about when I say first of all, is Back to Karkand release date was announced on the 2nd of December, and I'll hand you over to Mr. Kirioff.
Well, if you bought the limited edition, you should already have this, although my attempts to activate it have been rancid. It's almost impossible unless you speak to customer support for some people, and I know a few other people have had that issue as well. But if you've decided to just wait, then you've got to pay for it, and it costs cash monies to the tune of about $4.99. No, $14.99. $14.99. That's terrible.
That's quite a lot to ask for, really. I mean, Battlefield 3 for me, it's a good game, but I don't know how to explain it, because I played Battlefield. I played it for quite a lot. I think I've got about 35 hours or something on my profile, and I did intensively play it, but it just feels like an arcade game almost. There's no I always found myself going back to Grand Bazaar on 64 man, so there was just a massive meat grinder, almost like Modern Warfare. And it's I don't particularly like Modern Warfare, and the shooter I played the longest was Counter-Strike Source. I know it's the same for Kirioff, so I don't know. It's got the visuals, it's got the sound, it's got the experience, I suppose, but it just ain't got the.
There's a lot of
X Factor, son. It
there's
hasn't
a
got
lot
the
of
X Factor.
satisfaction when you play it.
Yeah.
That's what I find. It's it sounds great and it looks great, but I always sort of come out thinking that was not quite as good as I thought it was going to be, which is odd, because I can't think of anything that's wrong with it, but as you say, it's just missing something.
Yeah.
Which means that had I not already got the limited edition, I would not be paying €14.99 for Karkand. No.
I think ultimately they're going to give it away for free, and that price of... Yeah, I mean, if you haven't bought the game, if you haven't bought the limited edition, you're going over the Origin stores, probably the only place you can get it from as well. €14.99, €11.99 English cash money pounds, or $15.
Is the euro worth as much as the dollar anymore?
No, I'm sure $14 is actually... You know what? I'm going to find out. If you're American, you actually get it cheaper than anybody else, apparently. So just Phil, son, just Phil.
I'm fairly sure that euro at the moment is worth slightly less than anything. To be honest, it's not doing well. That's what I know. Yeah.
So if you actually bought it for dollars in England, you can't do this. And don't think you can just open up a bloody VPN and do it, because you'll get your accounts banned on Origin. It's only £9.50 instead of £11, whatever the hell it was, £11 99. Terrible. So anyway, that's Battlefield 3. I mean, I don't know. I was toying with the idea of doing some gameplay commentary clips of it, because I've seen people doing that, and I think that'd be something I'd sort of be maybe interested in doing a couple of times. But I haven't played the game for 3 weeks now or something, yeah. So I'll be massively rusty. So I don't know. The next thing we've got on the 4th of December is there's no more. Well, as Cremazion's put it, no more Notchcraft, because Notch is no longer the main man for Minecraft. He's focusing on the other games like Mojang are producing.
Tatty Mojangles.
Hey, Tatty Mojang.
To be honest, I'm hoping that he's stepping down so that he can go and hire a PR company, so that he stops embarrassing himself with TweetDeck. To be honest, is mostly what I'm hoping for off him.
But what gets me is, I mean, the stats here that Cremazion's put into the news post are terrible. It's in the last 24 hours, 10,490 people bought the game for €15, is it? Or was it 20?
I think it's gone up now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It was 15 when you got 25% off.
It's quite the cash cow, sir. Quite
indeed.
the cash cow. That is absolutely terrible. I mean, and also, talking about Minecraft, you might have noticed that there's been a lack of Minecraft stuff, of course. Now, I don't think we exactly like Minecraft anyway. But when somebody, Kirioff shaking his head, but when somebody said, also, yeah, we're actually together today. We're not doing this over the internet. I had to visit Kirioff and give him a few slaps. I don't know, but yeah. So we do it together. That's why it sounds a little bit different. But yeah, with the Minecraft stuff, it's like I don't like the game, and Kirioff don't like the game, and it's like we got it given to us, so okay, we'll do content on it, and it was funny. But I admit admittedly, it was only funny for me because I was playing it with him and we were just being dicks, basically. We wasn't really doing anything. It was like, oh.
It's something that I kind of wanted to like because so many other people do. And I thought, this many people can't be wrong. And I quite like creative stuff, like games that are a bit different and a bit, there's an edge of you've got to make your own way. But it's just, there's nothing. There's just nothing in it. I can't find any part of it that makes me think, yeah, I want to go back and play it again. It's just not my cup of tea, to be honest.
When there's no goal in the game, it is kind of lame. A little rhyme. But I know you can get the adventure maps and all that stuff, and we had I think we had Hostile Super Sea Flame, something or other. Like massively difficult, but only because there was no resources, and it's sort of like, I don't know. For me, as far as I'm concerned, the Minecraft content on the channel don't be expecting Minecraft content unless something major happens, which, for whatever reason, we find ourselves doing a clip on it again, because there's no point doing stuff if you don't enjoy it.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, that transfers into the clip and it sounds totally crap and forced and terrible. It was like people used to moan about the why have we stopped doing the Minecraft versions that we did. Well, because it would just be the same thing time and time again. It's like you can only go so far before you understand how to make a workbench and a torch and whatever the hell people make.
That's the other thing. We were getting dangerously close to knowing what we were doing, and at that point it stopped being quite as funny because we can't just fail all the time, which is basically what made the first one good. But when you stop failing, it just becomes a bit samey. There's nothing really authentic there. You can't force messing up because otherwise it just looks forced.
Yeah, and there are certain YouTube clips I've seen that are forced and they look terrible, although they seem to have quite a lot of views on them, and I don't understand why. Maybe it's easy to con people, I don't know. Maybe we should go down that route, just conning people. Oh yeah, we really love this game, whatever. Also this week, Trine, or Latrine 2. I don't know what it is, but every time I see it, I just say Trine. But I guess it kind of is Trine. Trine.
See, I just don't get that.
Trine.
I see the TRI and I think try, and I see the NE and I think trine because I after E, all that.
Babe, it means nothing to me. So we got Trine 2. Now we did play the beta, and it was quite good, the beta. And to be honest, now that the game's launched, there's not really that much difference, is there?
No,
because there wasn't really that many issues that I can remember with the beta anyway. But yeah, so we got the live game and put out an Is It Pure on it, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite. I mean, the way the game looks is quite good, really. I mean, I'd go as far as saying it's one of the better looking games I've seen all year, really. I mean, I know, okay, things like Battlefield and stuff like that, but this is like, it ain't done with a high end engine, but it looks quite good. I mean, it's striking, like. For
what it is, I think it's the best looking thing this year. I mean, I do like the way other games look, like Skyrim and Battlefield. They both look good, but there's something about Trine's design and the way they've actually implemented it that actually makes you sit there and just stop for a minute and just go, this.
Well, that's kind of the other thing, though, ain't it, with the design of the game? I mean, through the Is It Pure clip and even the beta gameplay, it was kind of easy to solve the puzzles with boxes with the mage. It was like you got the three characters, so you got like the wizard guy, and he can summon crates and he can levitate items, and he can also levitate monsters if you get that ability. You've got the warrior who's got a sledgehammer and he can smash through stuff that's breakable, and he's also got a shield so he can defend stuff. He can like knock projectiles away, and he's got a sword like when he's got a shield, so he's like the combat unit. And then you've got like a well as Kirios said, like the bloke from Assassin's Creed, if he was a woman, he was in Trine, whatever. But it's basically modelled on the Assassin's Creed bloke. What's his name? I haven't even played Assassin's Creed.
It depends which one, Altair or Ezio.
And it's some kind of genetic freak game where you go into the past of somebody through the...
It's a bit weird. Just on a side note, I won't spoil the end of Brotherhood for you, but it's bloody terrible. And I was filled with
He actually
hatred
sent
and
him a
rage.
letter.
I did. I sent an email to the developers, which was essentially an A4 side of telling them exactly why.
Did you post it in the forum?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put a link to the video.
There. They've not replied, which I think is unfair. I even addressed it properly. I labelled it as Dear Team of various multicultural faiths and beliefs and all that. They never got back to me.
Oh dear. Well, anyway, as we were going on about Trine too, so you got your three characters, and they've each got different abilities. Like the Assassin's Creed woman, she's got a grappling hook, and she's got a bow, so she can attack. Whereas the wizard, he doesn't really have an attack, does he? He just summons crate. Oh, I guess you could drop it on the red. I don't know. But we found that most of the puzzles, if it was like having to get over like a crevasse or like some kind of abyss with spikes in the bottom, all you did was you just basically took it in turns with the wizard and float across.
Yeah, I think that's actually quite a big design flaw in the game if you're playing with two people. If you're playing with one person, I'd imagine it's tricky.
Admittedly though, it was the start of the game, so I guess they were easy. But even the first like 2 levels or whatever we played through, there were puzzles that were difficult and some that were just so easy. It was stupid, and it wasn't even in sequence. It wasn't like easy getting hard. It was like, have a massively hard one, now have an easy one.
I do think part of it is down to, if you play it by yourself, it's not an impossible, because I've tried this. I did it in the beta because I enjoyed the game. I thought, I'll have a go at it. By yourself, it is a right pain in the arse.
But bearing in mind, like we're coming at this from a co-op point of view, so there's 2 characters on the screen at once, not just one.
And I think it's the fact that with 2 characters, either of those characters can swap out to the unused one. So with 2 people, you can actually get to the point where you're just leapfrogging the wizard from one platform to another, floating boxes across. With 3 people, you'd be completely unable to do it because you'd be locked into the person that you were given at the start of the game. Yeah. So only one person is ever the wizard, only one person is ever Assassin's Creed woman. So I think
2 is like the easiest one.
Yeah, 2 is in fact the easiest way to play the game. 3 is probably a lot more difficult, and 1 is impossible, as I found. I just couldn't do it. So maybe there's a future in it for us for finding a 3rd person to play it with, but I'd suggest that perhaps we found it easy because we were lacking.
Yeah, we could keep swapping out. Yeah, that's probably right then. I think we did come to the conclusion that the game is pure, because I don't know of any other physics-based platform. Well, Limbo, I suppose, is a physics-based platformer game with puzzles. Although Limbo's got a very simplistic art style, but again, you could argue Limbo's just as good artistically because of the way it approaches. Yeah. The way it's designed. But Trine to obviously technically and whatever is a lot better. So yeah, it's, if you like platform games platform puzzlers with physics-based problems, then it's most definitely the game for you. We were impressed by it. But as we say, like when it was co-op, it was a bit too easy. On the 8th of December, according to Mr. Ryko, the famed Unit Lost reporter, the Scorched Desert Secret World exclusive trailer came out.
I'm still liking the look of the Secret World. It looks funky.
It does look funky. This does. And it's, I don't know. It's like something I'm not even really following. Like I don't even really care too much about it. But it just seems a bit mad. The way they're supposed to be incorporating all basically everything that's gone on in the world all at once or something crazy. Yeah. But the graphics do look kind of funky as well.
Yeah, it sort of slips in and out of my radar. I kind of forget about it, and then a trailer comes up, and I think that looks interesting, what's going on, and then it sort of disappears again. But I think it's worth keeping an eye on. It looks different, at least. Yeah.
Flat Out 3, Chaos and Destruction. I think this is out now, isn't it? No, it's on the 13th of December it comes out. It's because I've seen it advertised in Steam, I'm sure. I played Flat Out 2 on my laptop when I was at college.
I believe I also played Fallout 2 on your laptop.
It's just some time ago.
It was funny though.
Yeah, it's funny as anything. I mean, if 3's anything like that, then if you want some crazed car driving madness, I remember it had the stupid games where you had to do the highest jump. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, who can fire themselves out the car, window the. Oh, it was crazy. There'll probably be content for that on the channel, so we'll keep you informed. And there is the Christmas event for Killing Floor, which is free to play this weekend on Steam. Now, I've never played this, and this is from the people who made what was it called? What's the Russian game with the Germans? Stalingrad type game thing. Red Orchestra.
That's it.
They're the ones who made Red Orchestra. It's meant to be fairly good. Loads of weapons, like just killing loads of zombies and zombies and monsters and whatever. I think it's co-op as well. So yeah, I mean it's free. It's free this weekend on Steam, so you may as well just jump in and download it. It's not going to hurt you. At least I don't think it'll hurt you. So yeah, I mean, Tribes Ascend came out this week. Well, no, never. That's a lie. Tribes Ascend has been in beta for some time, but I only got a beta key this week. Because a very kind Unit Lost chum, Lassiku, gave me a friend key, because when you sign up to the beta, you actually get a key you can give to somebody else. So obviously, as soon as I signed up, I gave Kirioth one, so we've both got keys for it. Now, I thought this game, I thought it was going to be shit. I thought this looks terrible. From the screenshots I've seen of it and some of the gameplay clips, it just looked like... It didn't really look like anything. It just looked like there's loads of people. It almost looked like Quake Arena, or Quake 3 Arena, or Quake Live, but without a map. It was just like an open space, and everybody was jumping up and down with jetpacks, shooting each other, and it was like, okay, that looks a bit dodgy. Because obviously the older Tribe games, you had all the vehicles and all that. Well, you do get all the vehicles and all that in Tribes Ascend. So I downloaded the beta client, and this was kind of funny because Kirioth had the same problem. It's crap. I don't even know what this launch is supposed to be. High Res Command or something, I think it's called.
Is it High Command, they've called it? Which is a hilarious play on words. Not.
But it's also totally gash and crashes all the time.
It's awful. It's basically just a web browser encased in a piece of buggy, ugly...
Ugly, yeah, it's dead ugly as well.
Stupid software, and it's mystifying. Why they even did it in the first place, I do not know. It looks like someone basically looked at Steam and thought, I could probably knock that up in 5 minutes. Tried, failed, and then sold it to them.
And then died.
Yeah.
It's quite bad. I mean, when we was installing Tribes, it wanted to install prerequisites, which was like DirectX. Now, I'm pretty sure I had the latest DirectX on my computer anyway, because every game on Steam, this leads me into another thing. Why, Steam, do you always install DirectX every time a game is installed? Surely it would be better just to go, oh yes, look, he's got the latest DirectX, we don't need to install it, instead of just installing it all the time. Anyway, Tribes wanted to do this, so I let it do it, but it crashed. So I loaded the client up again, well, the high-res command, and it crashed again. I'm like, this is great. It come up and say prerequisites failed to run. So I tried again, third time's often the charm, and it started to download, and then took about 20 minutes to install.
Yeah.
And I think it was the same for Kirioth.
It took, and I timed this, so I'm not just making it, 35 minutes
Oh,
for it to decompress the installation files.
I mean, what was it doing?
Nothing. It was terrible. It was like, it's not even as though, if it had been installed, say, on the main the program hard drive of my PC, which is ancient and terrible, then I could sort of understand it. But it's not. It's on 2 RAIDed terabyte drives. Anything else decompresses and installs instantly. Pretty much, it's straight off. It's like, here are your files, sir. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Yeah,
Tribes? No. 35 minutes of just...
I mean, it's not even that big. It's not like it's a 50 gig game or something. It's like, what the hell?
The download was 1.5 gigabytes.
My God.
That's it. 1.5.
So, anyway, right, I'm pretty pissed at this point, because I'm like, oh yeah, because it takes me long enough to encode clips and upload and do all that crap. Anyway, so I don't want to be wasting ages and ages pissing around with some crap install. Anyway, it installs. I load the game up. The interface, almost immediately, I was kind of not impressed with it. I did do a first impressions clip of what I thought, it's called Tribes Ascend First Impressions, which is on the channel. it's a little bit dodgy, like the items you could buy. Like, I guess what I did is I related it to League of Legends with the riot points and the IP. Well, you get your IP in Tribes Ascend, it's just called something else, and you get your riot points, which is called gold. So obviously you spend real money on them, and that allows you to basically get more experience, and more experience allows you to unlock more classes. And some of the classes are like highly specialised in one area of the game. So there was one class which attacks the base, like the generator. That's what it specialises in, and he's obviously a lot better than, say, the standard, soldier class and doing that. And that's like a big difference. And that's like, I don't like that. A good free-to-play game is a game that allows you to play the game for free, but be, on a level playing field with everybody else. Now, I know we said this before, but League of Legends has probably been the better one for doing that I've played. Although you can still actually get a benefit from spending money, because you could get to level 30 faster. You get more runes. You could actually buy the runes, I suppose, to power up your character. Only minor increases, but it still is an increase. But in Tribes, you could be a winner straight off the bat. I mean, if I went in, bought the VIP access and paid, whatever the fee was, I can't remember. There was like different packages you could buy. I could say, come on then, Kirioth, you go on the red team, I'll go on the other team. And I could be the generator killing class and just run straight to his ship and kill his generator, and he wouldn't be able to stop me if he was the soldier. And I think that's a bit of a problem. But moving on from that, the gameplay itself, I mean, I think I've played it for about an hour now. I quite enjoyed it, actually, and I was quite surprised, because you get into the action quite well. You're in the action straight away, and it's like old school in the sense you have to be very accurate. You have to fire right at the target. See, because first of all, I was going in and I thought I was playing Battlefield, so I'm trying to fire in front of the targets, like to loop the bullets in, like for gravity drop, but it doesn't work like that. You have to actually just hit them head on, and it was like, oh, okay. And once I worked that out, it became quite addictive, but I guess it kind of also became pointless. It was strange. I mean, it was better than I expected it would be, but I was just like, when you die, you instantly respawn, basically. I mean, I guess it depends on what gameplay mode you're on, but I was respawning pretty fast, and I was straight back in the action, and it's like that guy you've just killed, he's doing the same thing. So it's just a massive war.
See, I went the other way. I loaded it up, and I think I played it for about an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half, something like that. And I just can't play it anymore. I was just bored straight off the bat. I went in, and it didn't help that the first quick match it gave me had 2 players in it, which I thought was quite a bad start. But I kept, I trawled through until I found a full server, and it felt like I was playing Halo with none of the excitement.
Yeah, it does look like Halo. Yeah,
it was just.
But Halo's shit, blow. What you on about?
Everyone was sort of gliding around and jumping up in the air, and there was nothing tangible for me to get enjoyment out of. The guns didn't feel like they were doing anything. I didn't feel any sort of satisfaction of having done something well if I killed someone. I respawned so quickly that it just encouraged flying at people randomly in the hope that you might cap them. The map was massive, and there were people spread out all over the place, and if you were not careful, you ended up all by yourself doing nothing. It's one of those few games where I came out of it and basically resolved to not play it again. It's just, it didn't impress me at all. There was nothing in it.
Yeah, I guess this is kind of good because it's 2 different viewpoints you're getting. Like, I didn't think it was too bad, and I would occasionally play it. Like, I wouldn't think to myself, no, I wouldn't play that. I think NSAL, the North American Star League, are picking Tribes Ascend up as a esports game for season 3. Now, I don't know how that's exactly going to work. I guess that's mainly down to the fact it's quite difficult to actually shoot people in the game. I mean, I don't know anything about the hit reg or the net code or any of that, what the game's got, but it is kind of difficult to shoot somebody head on when they're coming at you at 200 miles an hour with a jetpack and jumping all over the place. It's like you don't know where they are. It's like, oh, you're just railing everywhere. So I don't know. It's an interesting one. What I was going to say is it ain't bad, or it's quite good for free to play, but that's becoming quite a common thing now, is where you say, oh, because it's free to play, it almost becomes acceptable if something's not so good. Because I mean, the graphics are not very good. You know, like low resolution textures and stuff like that. I'm not saying they're bad, but they're not like cutting edge. But again, you just think to yourself, well, it's all right. It's free to play. I haven't paid anything for this.
Yeah,
but it's not an excuse, though, is it? It's like, I don't know. It's crazy.
It is something that I think is getting quite popular for people to say, well, I played it and it was all right, but I didn't like it that much. But it doesn't matter because it's free to play, so I play it again. Yeah. So just because something's free doesn't mean you should feel obligated to play it. If it's not good, I didn't think Tribes was good, so I'm not going to be. I don't care if it's free to play. I'm still not going to play it. It's like, as a game, you can only judge things as a game, not as to how much they cost. And as a game, I didn't enjoy it. So for me, that's it. It's like the price of it's not really got much to do with it.
The beta clips on the channel, as I was saying, it's Tribes to send first impressions, which is my first impressions, not Kyrgios, because obviously he's quite negative. He wants something to do with it. Anyway, moving on from Tribes. So I mean, I guess before we move on, let's just wrap it up. So it's like, from my point of view, it was better than I thought it would be. It does appear as if it's a bit of a massive clusterfuck when it comes down to it. Everybody's just... I know this was like on Team Deathmatch mode, so it's going to kind of be like that. But also on Capture the Flag, it felt the same type of thing. So I don't know, it's kind of difficult. I mean, I guess with it being free to play, when it does launch, what I would say is download it yourself and check it out.
Yeah.
That's the best way to find out with these free to play games. Anyway, moving on to another free to play game. Now, last year, I think it was around about this time as well, in December, a game called APB, All Points Bulletin, which, if anybody doesn't know, is like the thing the coppers do with the radio. Now you do know it's the thing the coppers do with the radio. Yeah. So the coppers are the policemen or the law enforcers or whatever the hell you have around your town.
What do they call them in America? Coppers? Just
police, I suppose.
Yeah.
The Rozzers. What was the other one? I heard the Babylon are coming.
The Fuzz.
The Fuzz. Yeah. Crazy. Anyway.
There are several other names, but we won't go into those because that's borderline offensive. So.
We'll be arrested. That would probably be a good thing though for Kyrgios. He's a bit strange. So APB. Last year it launched. Real Time Worlds made the game. I think they were based in Scotland. They did quite a good job of showing off things like the character creation. You know, really detailed. Yeah, it's quite good. You know, how you can have all kinds of crazy designs on your mad, you know, car you've got with God knows what engines falling out the bonnets and crazy stuff like that. Go faster stripes and all that stuff. Massive alloys and mental stuff like that. You know, looking quite good. Then the game launched, and I believe it actually went offline. This was an MMO, so it was subscription based, but it had a stupid model. I'm scraping the depths of my memory, but I believe the model was something like you paid for the amount of time you played. You paid for time to play, like set time. I think that's how it went. It wasn't like, you know, like a World of Warcraft. You pay your $8.99, you get a month, do what you like. It was like you only get 5 hours for this much money. I think that's how it was done. But you got a certain amount free with the game, and I think the game would have retailed at about, you know, 30 quid, $40, something like that. And I believe in the first month so it went offline because it was an absolute bag of shit.
Yeah,
I had quite a few problems.
I believe it's currently holding the record for the shortest lived MMO.
Yeah, it probably has.
Because it turned out that it is not so good. The cars had interesting handling, in that they had no handling characteristics whatsoever. Like for some reason, they decided that when cars turn, they turn from the centre of the vehicle.
Yeah, and I don't think they had much grip, did they, as well, or something? And it was.
I have to admit, my car, the brief time it spent on the road and not being repaired, that never had handling quite like what you saw in APB. No matter how hard you try, it just does not work like that.
We both have English driving licences, and I've actually drove big vans and things like that, and I can't say that you know, they rolled around and it was quite bad. It was really bad, and it was like, oh dear me, and it had a whole load of other problems. You know, I never followed it in massive detail to outline all of them, but let's just say it was really bad. Anyway, up steps gamers first. We can buy all the art assets and, you know, effectively buy the game off this collapsed company for, probably a nice fee, small
A penny.
fee. Yeah, in development costs, probably like a really low fee there. Anyway, penny was too much, but anyway, they bought the game, right? So then they took it away and began to turn it into APB Reloaded, because obviously they couldn't come up with another name. I don't know why they did. Well, I guess it is Reloaded because it's the relaunch, which is supposed to be, well, its second coming. But you can probably tell I'm lost for words. And if you have watched the clip and you're now listening to this, you know why. Because the tutorial in the game, no, it doesn't even start at the tutorial, does it? Right, you install the game, through Steam, because this is how we were playing it. Although I do believe it was available before. You could just get it through games first. You then click on play, and it opens up Facebook. Why is it opening Facebook up? Right, telling me to like their Facebook page. No, I will not be liking your Facebook page because I haven't played your game. Why would I like your Facebook page? Where's the game though? The game hasn't loaded. What the hell is going on? So I click play again. Oh, here we go. We get a splash screen coming up now. Kiriak's pissing himself laughing at it. He just laughs on it. It was and I was just like, oh my god.
It's because I've been there myself.
The game loads up, right? So, okay, all right, here comes the loading screen. With what I can only describe as white noise that like the SAS had used to torture somebody. What the hell?
The screen where you log in. Now, before I'll give you a little bit of an insight into how things work, right? To all this wonderful audio that you hear, it's not just by magic. It's the product of hard work and perseverance. So we need to make sure that the game is the right volume and Stylosa is the right volume and I'm the right volume. And so I loaded up the game in advance to have a look at
Can I do a reconstruction when you get to it, please?
And, I loaded it up and I get to the screen where you log in and immediately notice the world's most hideous noise coming through my headset at a volume that blew my brains out the side of my face.
It's like grating a chalkboard. Oh god, oh my god, it was terrible. Like, oh.
And occasionally you get little like squeaks, like when you get like.
I mean, it's not like the sound's broke. This is the sound because when the game loads, it comes up the loading screen and it's going through all these sound effects and it's like, what the hell?
And I sit there and I believe that one of the first things I do is I make this noise to Stylosa. Would you like to? I sit there going, oh Christ, what the fuck, oh my god, and I think to myself, but no, surely there's an options button. I'll click the options button. There'll be audio options in there. No. At the login screen for the options, you have a choice of video or go away.
Yeah, it won't let you change the audio on the menu screen, yet when you load the game up, you can change the audio. And also, talking about the audio, the volume levels between... I mean, I'd reduced the audio levels from being in the game. The loading screen was still like 100% volume. It was like, what the hell? It was... I don't know, but that's like only a minor problem, you think. That's not too bad. So, we get into the game. We choose... Well, let's just talk about the character creation thing. It's very detailed. It is very detailed. You could, probably one of the best character creation things I've seen. But that doesn't really, open much water, does it, if the game's shit? Anyway, so like, if you really like character creation, you could make some right mad stuff. So I kind of did for a bit, then got bored and just spam randomise because I needed to record a clip. So then I'm going to the game, and I'm in a room with a load of other people. Apparently I've spawned with a machine gun, because you do in this place, being a nobody. I've got like this assault rifle. I talked to some woman and she says to me, what does she even say? She says something like, go and get a car and then spray some spray paint.
Yeah.
Put our logo around, tell people that we're in the city, we want to cause trouble. So I go outside, right? I didn't get a car. I didn't get my own car. I just robbed the car, right? But do you know what I tried to do? I thought, okay, it looks like Grand Theft Auto. The best way to describe it is it literally is like Grand Theft Auto, but just crap. But it looks like Grand Theft Auto. So I get my gun, right? I zoom in, bit of right mouse button action. I go to shoot somebody in the head driving the car. It would appear that they've got bulletproof glass installed in the car. But every car's got this. I thought, okay, right. You know, like, okay. So I robbed the car anyway, and I drive, or I tried to drive, and it felt not quite as bad as what I believe the original release was like, because the cars are drivable in this. But it was, if anybody knows what a Ford Fiesta is, right, Google this now if you don't. Ford Fiesta. It is a small car. It was like I was driving a bus. It was like all over the road. Like you couldn't really move the wheels, and you just go flying off the road, and he wasn't even going full speed. And I was like, "Oh no!" So I'm crashing. Hang on, son. So I'm crashing all over the bloody walls and everything, trying to get to the point, right? And I'm following the little thing, and like the quest pointer, and it's behind like some industrial estate, I believe it was. So anyway, I get out of the car and I go and spray the thing, which was quite immersive, I'll have you know. The way I stood there, I pressed, was it F to interact?
Yep.
And a loading circle, not bar, came up, and my guy was just waving his arm back and forward for about 15 seconds, going spraying the spray paint. I was like, this is good. I just need to calm down a minute before I come back into it. I'll let Kirill take over.
Well, I was going to say that for any of you who are fans of cars, the best way to describe the handling of every vehicle in APB is it's somewhat similar to, I'd say probably like a late 70s German executive saloon. When people
that
say
weighs
things
50 ton.
Yeah, the ones that are made out of bulletproof everything, and when they accelerate, they get to 60 in about 30 seconds, and when they go around the corner, you can see the body tilt. You know, to the point where the door handles are nearly touching the floor. That's how every car in APB handles, from the sports car that I stole when I first got here.
Yeah, there's no like hardly any difference. Any difference.
To the ambulance that I stole later on, which performed handbrake turns remarkably well for something that is actually quite big and heavy.
And should tip over.
Yeah, and that, yeah.
So I then get told to go and spray more of this crap, right? So I carry on following the little quest icon thing. I spray more of the crap, right? So it's done. So I'm like, okay, the quest's done. What do I do now? Well, I'm guessing I follow this big green icon, which is back to the woman who gave me the initial quest. So I go back to her. She just literally doesn't want to say anything to me. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, she don't want to know, bloke. She just don't want to know. I'm like, well, what's this about? So I go to the mail terminal, which is like some kind of hybrid email thing. If anybody who lives in England remembers the BT email phones on the street, do you remember them?
Yeah,
It's like one of them. And so I got up to that, and it's telling me, like, I got some message saying, hello, welcome to San Paro, I think the city was called. If you'd like to do a quest, we'll get a mission. Press K on your keyboard to indicate you're ready. So I'm thinking that's a bit strange. Okay, so I press K, and at this point, an icon at the top right, left of the screen, turns green and says that I'm ready. Now it says that I need to wait a couple of minutes and I'll get my mission. Do you know how long I waited, Mr. Kirill? Do you want to know how long I waited? Right. Now, it wasn't like I just stood there, right? I was in the car driving around the place because I thought, okay, maybe I need to say I'm ready for a mission, then drive around like so it looks like I'm active or something, and they give me the mission. No. It was about 15 minutes, and then I get a phone call telling me to go and get some cocaine out of like a electricity substation box thing, which you get the cocaine out of by shooting it so it explodes. Surely that would damage the cocaine. I don't know.
Cocaine is resistant to explosions, as we all know. And electricity. And bullets.
Yeah. So I got the cocaine, I delivered the cocaine, and again I'm in a situation I've got nothing to do. Now the way the tutorial was running is you have to like complete, I think it was like 3 quests or missions via this pressing K to make yourself ready, and then the last mission says, hello, would you like to go into the real game now? But the wait between these quests appearing, which should have been instant, let's face it, what was I waiting for, was terrible. And I almost just quit the game there and then. But I thought, no, I'll persevere. Because then this leads me to the next point. Everybody is some massive muscle-bound crazed in this game, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. I could jump about 6 foot in the air, right? But you can only climb over chain link fences. You can't climb over a wall that is the same height or maybe slightly higher. Yeah, if you jump, right, your waist goes higher than the wall. So surely you could jump at least on top of the wall, or, you know, jump up and pull your saddle. No, you can't do any of that. And
you could at least run, jump, and then have your legs impact the wall so you face plant over the other side of it. At the very least, if you're jumping that high, which you are. But no, that's far too complicated for APB because, bricks are like... We all know that bricks are there to prevent people from jumping. That's what they're there for. So therefore, if it's made of brick, you can't climb it, you can't jump it, you can barely even go near it. Some walls just kill you dead. That's how it is in the real world. Oh no, mate, it isn't. It's terrible. It's just a terrible, terrible game. We finally got into the actual game, having gone through this horrible slog of a tutorial, which, by the way, on the internet...
It's the worst tutorial I've ever seen.
Someone claims it takes 5 to 10 minutes. Well, I'm here to tell you...
No, it doesn't.
It took me about 35 minutes just for the last bloody mission to come through. I mean, I was stood there for just... It felt like hours of my life were slipping away.
I mean, there were points where it was like, what the hell do I do now? When you're just totally lost in a game. There was no direction. And we knew we was in the tutorial area, but we just did not know how to leave. Because we were waiting for this phone call to come through, which just took ages and ages to come through. It was just terrible, bro. I mean, it should have been quite good. I mean, and I guess when you think, like, what actually is the game? Because towards the end of our first impressions of APB and last clip, which is on the channel today, it's the last clip after gaming news, like, I don't know, bloke. It was just like we were driving around shooting the enforcers. The enforcers were shooting the criminals, and it was just back and forward shooting. We died, you spawned again, and you shot each other, and it was just nothing. It was just nothing, and it was like you could argue that maybe it'd be quite funny if you had like a gang of people in, like, I don't know, a transit van, and you all turn up to rob a bank. Might be quite funny. Yeah. But from what I gathered, the enforcers would just sit there and shoot you in the head, and you'd be dead. Because they would have the jump on you, because they'd just be waiting for you to come out the front door or the back exit or wherever the hell you come out. And I don't know, it was quite bad.
I think the way in which you can judge whether APB in our eyes is good or not is we finished recording and the first thing I did was uninstall it.
Yeah, he just uninstalled the game, and I never, because I had to go in code, so I never. But it will never, ever, ever be loaded up again on my computer.
That's all you need to know.
You don't need to know anymore. That is just the end of that game. It is rancid, and I'll never, ever want to talk about it again. So going into next week, the stuff that you'll see on the channel, you will see more of Stein Kiri playing the Star Wars beta. There's a couple more episodes that I think there's another 3, and then you'll see us getting our funky lightsabers. Good lord, there'll be more. Is it pure? There'll be more frag and all the rest of it. You know by now. They know by now, don't they, bro?
They should do.
Tell me they know. So I think that's it. I think that brings the gaming news to a close. So unless you've got anything else to say.
No, I think that's pretty much it. End on a low note.
So yeah, remember to subscribe to the channel, people. Check out unitlost.com. Follow us on Twitter at UnitLostGaming. Follow us on Facebook, which is Unit Lost, I think. Just / Unit Lost on Facebook. Just search for groups. You'll find us. Our big logo will give it away. We've got a Steam group. I can't remember the details of that, but it's in the video description. And we've also got an IRC channel. I am in that all the time. So is Kirioff. And we're quite prone to talking shit in there. Come and join it. It's on QuakeNet, and the channel is #UnitLost. And I think that pretty much sums it up. So I've been Stylosa, and he's Kirioff from UnitLost.com, and we'll catch you next time, people. Toodaloo.